Chapter 5. The general body meeting will now come to order, the secretary of the society said to a handful of people in the room. The husbands of the Sapphire-Tower's wives had gathered in the common hall used for parties to attend the bi-annual meeting of the society. The wives were sitting in the lawns outside the hall, chatting, leaving it to their husbands to attend the meeting. "What do you think they're discussing?" asked Aarti. "The pool," Natasha replied. "The pool? What's wrong with the pool?" asked Geeta. She had never gone to the pool in any case, but felt she needed to express outrage for some reason. She'd only sent her children down to learn swimming every Wednesday and Friday evening, and she was afraid that if it was shut down, her children would not be able to go anywhere. Apparently, the residents of the other building have a view of the pool, and the husbands don't like that. Aarti hadn't heard the entire sentence, so asked again, "What?" "People from different buildings staring at us. The husbands are protesting," Natasha said with authority. "But it's okay for our society to look down and see their women at the pool?" asked Geeta, confused and partly relieved that the pool was not being closed down. "I've been to the pool so many times now. Whatever the neighbors had to see has already been imprinted in their minds," said Aarti. All the girls started laughing. "I think they're planning to build a wall or something to cage us in when we're in our swimsuits," said Natasha, who was a regular at the pool. She was an excellent swimmer and hated the fact that several people who didn't know how to swim would go back and forth in the deep end rather than take laps or stick to the shallow end. She vowed to go swimming one day at night when no one was there. A vow that she would keep, except she would be naked and with a man at the time. Aarti waved her hand in the air. "Oof! It's not like we're wearing bikinis anyway. All the women wear full swimsuits that come with shorts. We're practically in our burqas." The women agreed. They had seen how the women dressed and went swimming only after the husbands and children had left the building for work or school. They would come out fully clothed and quickly change into a swimsuit that covered their arms and half their legs before going for a swim. They might as well have worn jeans, since none of them were good swimmers anyway. "I would love to learn swimming though. It's great exercise and I've never had the chance to learn," Geeta thought out loud. "You should," Natasha said encouragingly. "There's a ladies instructor who comes at 11 twice a week. Call the clubhouse and find out details. It's a lot of fun to learn in a class." Geeta thought it was a good idea. Thank God they're not shutting it. Renu and Anu have swimming classes, and I would have to find something else for them to do at that time then. Natasha ribbed her friend. "You put your girls in too many activities, Geeta. Let them be." Geeta shook her head. "They need structure in their lives, Natasha. The more you push them to do different things at an early age, the better they learn discipline." Geeta had seen Natasha's way of controlling Diya and how futile it was. She didn't want her daughters to end up spoilt like her. Aarti suddenly remembered Sarita. "Where's Sarita? Didn't we WhatsApp her that we were coming down?" They all checked their phone for the group they had made for themselves on a social site. They called themselves Lovely Ladies. "Yeah, see, I told everyone we're meeting. Only she hasn't confirmed." "What is she up to?" Geeta said. "Is she okay?" Natasha asked. They wondered about Sarita. Their friend had not shown up for the last few days, and now that she skipped this meetup too, they began to worry about her. If one of them called her house, she would say that she's doing something and would call back. But she never called back, and they wondered if something was wrong. Suddenly, they saw Sarita emerge from the gym opposite the lawns and wipe her head with a towel. Their jaws dropped, and Natasha was the only one who shouted out before Sarita headed towards the lift. "Sarita!" Natasha waved to her as she looked in their direction. Sarita walked towards her friends. She knew she was caught. She would now have to tell them everything, and the words just weren't forming in her mouth. She reached them, and they started talking without giving her a chance to figure out what to say. "You, Jim, when, why, how?" asked Aarti, who couldn't form the sentences but wanted to know all the details. "Yeah, Sarita, how come?" asked Natasha. Sarita sat on the bench next to them and drank a large gulp of water from her bottle. "Look at your gym gear," remarked Geeta, who was quite astounded that Sarita, who hadn't exercised a single day in her life, actually had a Nike water bottle and wristbands. Thankfully, Sarita could cover the handcuff marks with sports products. "The gym is free. Did you know that? Apparently, we pay a monthly maintenance that includes the gym. So I just thought I should use it, said Sarita. She didn't want to give away too many details. Yes, I did know it was free, but why are you using it? You hate exercising, asked Natasha, who never lost any weight despite the amount of yoga and swimming she did. You've never exercised in your life, Geeta added. And you're the only one who always tells us that we shouldn't join any classes because we are married anyway, Aarti said, feeling slighted that no one had joined the Zumba class when she had suggested it. But everyone wanted to now head to the gym because Sarita had taken the lead. Sarita stretched her legs and said, I know. My God, look at you people pouncing on me. I want to lose weight, that's all. I've been having so many back problems. Why are all of you jumping at me for trying to be thin? You can also join, fatsos, she teased, and they all laughed with her. The others decided that they would leave the gym to her. Natasha said she wasn't a closed-door person. She liked exercising outdoors and would prefer playing a sport or go running than lifting weights at the gym. Geeta said she never had the time, and Aarti said she would prefer a class like Pilates or dance rather than go to the gym. The conversation led from working out to yoga, and from there to instructors who came home. Bapre, exclaimed Sarita. Once I got a yoga instructor to come home, and my in-laws went on and on about how expensive it was to keep him. It was just one day and a free trial session, for God's sake. But they made me feel like I was selling their gold to improve my back. Same here, said Natasha, even though she didn't live with her in-laws or have money problems. My husband walked in on me doing yoga with an instructor and asked him to his face, So you like touching other women? Oh, I was mortified. That yoga instructor never came back and didn't take the money for the 3 classes he did with me. Till then, I never thought Vikram was the jealous type. The girls dissolved into laughter as they listened to each other's stories about their husbands and in-laws. At some level, they knew it was chatter on the surface of things. The deeper, darker secrets were something one could never reveal. Natasha never said how Vikram had a foul temper and that she was quite scared of him. While she made a joke about the yoga teacher running away, she didn't mention how he had yelled at her afterwards for meeting another man. And Sarita didn't mention how she had started going to the gym only to please her husband for the acrobatics he was now trying in bed. She didn't know if her friends would look at her as a freak who now enjoyed only kinky sex. Each of the women felt the other's life was better and somehow wanted to protect herself from revealing the truth. They were all educated, smart and beautiful, yet somehow they had lost their way through the course of marriage and children. But they didn't want to reveal how badly it affected them. They guarded their vulnerability with a shield of humor. All they knew was that they were grateful for each other. A simple fact that wouldn't even be there weeks from that moment. Natasha bit her lip and looked towards the party hall. The meeting had finished. Vikram, who had attended it for the first time, was on his way out. I better go. The meeting's over, Natasha said. We'll all go, said Geeta. We can't just sit here while the husbands are at home anyway. It doesn't look nice. And I have to pick up the kids from Julie's place. That American who leaves dirty notes for her boyfriend around the house? Asked Natasha. She does? Asked an incredulous Geeta, giggling at Natasha's remark. Yep, replied Natasha. My bai works for her house too, and one day she brought a note to me thinking it was for me. What language? She giggled, as did the others. It doesn't matter to me, Geeta said. She's an excellent piano teacher, and my children love to hear her sing. It's the best 1 hour of the day for me. No husband, no children, no in-laws. Peace. Geeta got up and straightened her kurta. Natasha shook her head and said, More classes, Geeta. While she knew that Geeta was strict with her children, she wondered if she should have been as well. Her relationship with her daughter wasn't always smooth, and she had no help from her family in bringing her up. They all said their goodbyes and left the conversation hanging. They realized that they could continue talking about several topics if given the opportunity. But Geeta was in a hurry to get home. She needed to speak to Shailesh about joining swimming classes. She couldn't wait to start doing something for herself, now that she had some free time on her hand.